It's 38 degrees here on top of a hill station. The hill station? Lonavala, a very famous tourist destination between Mumbai and Pune. But beyond all those busy touristy spots are deserted, fast, winding roads. The perfect setting for a fast car. And it's safe to say that the car I have with me here today is actually hotter than the weather around. Say hello to the red-hot Audi RS5. In the arid landscape that is typical to this region in the dry season, the shiny red RS5 stands out remarkably despite its subtle looks. Compared to the Audi S5 coupe that it builds on, the RS5 gets the usual paraphernalia of a sportier variant. Larger air dams, wider grille, a chin spoiler up front, and a prominent body kit including side skirts and air diffusers, and also large wheels and brakes. The RS5 has these little grooves on the outer edges of the headlamps and the tail lamps, which I believe are present for improving the aerodynamic performance. However, I think these are more form over function. The Audi RS5 also comes with an edgier surfacing for the apron, and the haunches are more muscular with accentuated wheel arches that acknowledge the boxy but iconic yesteryear Quattro cars. Interestingly, the Audi RS5's wheel arches are 19mm broader than the base A5. The bezels for the grille, the sleek chin and lip spoilers, and the chunky diffuser are all done up in glossy black and create a stunning contrast with the shiny red body color. I guess I just have a thing for fast cars or fast bikes that are done up in red and black, and probably that's the reason why this particular RS5 appeals to me so much. The RS5 logos are in all the usual places on this Audi, like the grille and the tailgate, and also in some unusual places like the fuel filler cap. If your fuel attendant notices that and recommends you higher octane fuel, tip him well. You'll find more of these badges on the flat bottom steering wheel, the fully digital instrumentation, and the leather on the sport seats. Open the door in the dark and a puddle light welcomes you with the new Audi Sport logo. It's a gentle reminder that Quattro GmbH, which used to be the performance arm at Audi, is now Audi Sport GmbH. It's headed by the flamboyant Steven Winkelmann, and you'll be happy or unhappy to know that this car isn't even remotely manic like the cars that he greenlighted when he was heading Lamborghini. The RS5 is typical Audi, razor sharp in its design, impeccable in its workmanship, and precise when it comes to handling around the bends. The cabin does look a bit too S5 in my opinion, and I would have liked better headroom or a lower edge point in the driver's seat for easier ingress and egress, making it more suitable for an everyday sports car. The rear seat is a bit roomier in comparison to the outgoing first generation RS5, but it's still good enough only for kids or teenagers. The rear seat occupants do get cubby holes on either sides of the rear bench to keep their knickknacks, and chances are whatever they put in there will stay in there because this car isn't as tail-waggy as its natural rivals, the BMW M4 and the Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG. That precision and the rear-end grip of the Audi RS5 is thanks to the Quattro performance all-wheel drive setup, which ensures maximum grip with its ability to transfer 75% of the power to the rear wheels. The Quattro drivetrain gets its fodder from a new 2.9-litre V6 petrol engine that replaces the grunty 4.2-litre V8 of its predecessor. Despite the downsizing, the engine still churns out an identical 450 PS of power. But the torque, it's gone up by 170 Newton meters to reach a magical figure of 600 Newton meters. And that comes courtesy of a bi-turbo configuration, where both the turbochargers are placed within the V arrangement of the engine. 0 to 100, claims Audi, comes in 3.9 seconds, which is 0.6 seconds faster than the outgoing RS5. Marrying the new engine to the Quattro system is a finely tuned 8-speed Tiptronic gearbox, which is ultra smooth in its operation and very responsive to changing throttle inputs. handy power and torque gauges in the instrumentation further highlight the prowess of this drivetrain. You know what? Cruising at about 100 kilometers an hour in overdrive shows that it requires only about 19% of power and 27% of torque, and it needs between 45 to 55% of power and torque when the cruising speeds start hovering around the 200 kilometer an hour mark. Such torque, much amaze. The Audi RS5 can hit a top speed of up to 280 kilometers an hour. And going by how nicely it puts power down onto the road and thrusts your head into the seat, I don't think it will take too long to reach the car's maximum speed. The new RS5 has lost about 60 kilos, out of which about 30 kilo savings come from the engine alone. The front end is therefore lighter than before and makes for sharper turn-ins and reduced understeer. An electronic differential further reduces the understeery nature of the quattro system, making the Audi RS5 a fast track tool and a brilliant corner cover. If I had to go nitpicking, I would have wished for a more communicative steering. This one feels a little over-assisted. Of course, it does way up in dynamic mode, but it just feels a little bit artificial. Along with the sharper gearbox and engine responses, the dynamic mode also unlocks the full-blown sound of the V6 engine that fills up the cabin with a thrum at lower speeds, and higher engine RPMs resonates into a throaty roar with crackles and pops that are typical to German sports cars. I think the Audi RS5 is right up there with the BMW M4 and the Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG as far as the performance is concerned. It's also priced quite competitively, but I think for the consumers, where it will finally boil down to is which one crunches the faster lap times and which one is more involving to drive, more fun to drive. That, I think, is a story for another day. Right now, it's the open road, the fast car. Hell of a fun time to be had.